Now joining us live from Washington, D.C. is Al-Hamdani, who is a fellow at the Sana Center for Strategic Studies, a youth-led research center. Thanks very much for speaking to us. So it wasn't long after the ceasefire was declared that violations were reported. Will the truce survive long enough, do you think, to give peace talks a chance?
Well, so far there have been violations in the cities of Taiz, Al-Dala, Al-Jawf, even Marib. But these clashes are on the ground, and it seems that the Houthis and Saudi Arabia are both serious about moving forward. There's enough international pressure to keep this going. Of course, we can't forget that President Obama is due to be in the Gulf very soon, and a lot of this is riding on that too. Saudi Arabia has been engaged in a year-long war, and I think that both sides have realized that you can't win this war militarily, and a political solution is now on the table.
Past attempts to negotiate an end to the conflict have essentially failed. Is it likely that this new round of talks will fare any better?
Well, so far, the Houthis and the Saudis have both communicated directly. But we have to bear in mind that this is just the first step of many steps that need to follow in the future, meaning that the Houthis and the Saudis are just one side of this equation. It seems that the Houthis and their ally, the pro-Saleh militia, are kind of falling apart. However, it seems that the GPC, the General People's Congress, that's the party of former President Ali Abdullah Saleh, have been welcoming of this peace talks that are going to come up now in Kuwait. It seems that these are the main actors that we need to involve. However, pushing past that, we need to involve the popular resistance, the southern resistance, and the local militias that have been fighting on the ground for the last year. None of them are going to be participating in the Kuwait dialogue that's about to take place, the peace talks. And those actors have been fighting and claiming territory on the ground, and we need to involve them moving forward if the peace talks are going to transform the country and lead to peace.
And I suppose this is a big part of the problem now, that you have many militias on the ground that may not be under a direct chain of command, either on the part of the military or the government. You have a very fragmented situation with, different armed groups dominant in different provinces. Is it likely that we will see violence essentially continuing throughout this process? Will those militias have to be incorporated in some way, or is some sort of deal possible with the actors that have currently agreed to come to the table?
Yes, so unfortunately in all of this, it seems that President Hadi's government is the weakest actor. They have declared Aden the temporary capital, and they have failed to go back and operate from there. They continue to be the main target of the Islamic State attacks, and Al-Qaeda is also targeting them. We have the city of Mukalla that has been under the hand of Al-Qaeda since April 2nd, 2015, so that's a whole year. A whole city in Yemen, a very important city, is under the control of Al-Qaeda. And then you have different militias in different parts, and all of these people have been ruling on the ground for a long time. For the peaceful actors, for the non-terrorist radical elements, of course you can incorporate them in the deal. And President Hadi's government had started incorporating some of them into the military. However, we've witnessed that there have been some protests because these people were not compensated enough. Also, a lot of them have been involved in the military, and they don't have the sufficient training to be officially in the military. I think once we reach a peace deal, there will be a definite battle between the government and radical elements, whether it's Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula or the Islamic State.
Well, thank you very much. It was good to get your thoughts on this. Al-Hamdani joining us there from Washington, D.C.
Thank you.